This conference will now be recorded.
Hi friends, good evening in this Business Intelligence Master Program. So in today's session, we are going to talk about Azure Data Lake Analytics integration with Azure Data Factory. So what is Azure Data Lake Analytics? So Azure Data Lake Analytics is basically analytical service within a cloud. Okay, how we have data bricks, how we have data flows, how we have Azure HD inside. We have seen all these things for processing, for applying analytics on data. Right, so in the same way, we have a data lake analytics, which is going to perform the analytics on your data. But this Azure data lake storage is going to work on, okay, if you want to do data analytics by using Azure data lake analytics service, you need to use something called USQL code. See, we have done the analytics by using data flows. It's completely UI, and you can do the data lake analytics by using Databricks and Azure HD Insight. You can use a different language like PySpark. You can use Scala, right? So like Scala means Spark, you can say. Python means you can say PySpark. So you can use anything like Python, PySpark, all those things, right? But if you want to do analytics in data lake storage, data lake analytics, by using data lake analytics, if you want to perform any analytics on data, you need to use something called USQL language. You need to use a new language called USQL. We will talk about that little bit. Okay, so if you have little bit idea, that's good. Okay, we'll talk about those things. In today's session, we will talk about Azure Data Lake Analytics overview diagram. Okay, data lake storage URL format. Suppose if you want to read data from data lake storage Gen 1 into your USQL code, what should be the URL format? Then we will talk about find storages attached to Azure HD Insight. So we are going to talk about how you can find the storages attached to Azure. Sorry, this is basically different one. 1 second. One second, friends. Okay. Fine. Okay, so we are going to talk about data lake storage URL format. Then I will talk about something called USQL keywords. So before you write your USQL code, what are the keywords you should know? Those keywords I will discuss, because this is not a difficult language. This is very easy language. You do not worry. Okay, so we'll talk about USQL. And in USQL, what are the keywords we have? Those things we'll discuss. Then I will talk about USQL code snippet one. So first set of code just for reading the data, writing the data. So I will apply a transformation, okay, by using code snippet. I think I was like just modified all these things, but how come all these things are showing like this? 2, 3, okay. Think there is some mistake. Like I forgot to save these changes or something. Some changes not happened. Fine. See, code snippet one will talk about only reading data from data lake storage and writing data into data lake storage. Code snippet two will talk about reading data, applying transformation and loading the data, writing the data. So third transformation again talk about same thing, reading data, applying different transformation, writing the data. So code snippet 4 also going to talk about same thing, reading and doing some kind of a transformation, writing the data. So then we will talk about the difference between Azure HD Insight, Databricks, and Data Lake Analytics. Then I will talk about required results. Okay, let's start with Azure Data Lake Analytics overview diagram. See, this is a data lake analytics. Okay, so on this data lake analytics, I want to submit my USQL code. So how you can submit your USQL code is from UI, from user interface. By using Azure portal, you can submit the jobs. Let's say I submitted the job. What this job should do, this can only read data from data lake storage Gen 1. So even it cannot connect to the data lake storage Gen 2. Data lake analytics can connect to only data lake storage Gen 1. Okay, so when you are submitting your job should be able to read data from data lake storage gen 1 into the data lake analytics, and you can apply some transformation. You can write data back to the data lake storage gen 1. Okay, but now the question is how the data lake storage gen 1 you can access it from the data lake analytics. Can somebody tell me how you have read the data from blob storage into Azure Databricks? So have you established any connection? But without establishing connection, I am able to read the data. How it is possible? What you have done when you are creating Azure HD Insight? Tell me. Sudhir Reddy, Bhaskar, Ratnaraj Bharat. Anybody tell me, friends, what you have done? Not URL. So you have attached. So first you created the blob storage. You attach to the Azure HD Insight when you are creating. In the same way, first we need to create data lake storage gen 1. Then when we are creating the data lake analytics, we need to attach Azure data lake storage gen 1. Here we cannot attach multiple storages to data lake analytics. We can attach only one storage. Only one storage. Remember, okay. There is a one way to submit job on data lake analytics, but from UI just for testing and all those things you can do that. But in real time, if you want to schedule these jobs, you need to use what? Azure Data Factory. By using Azure Data Factory, you are going to submit the jobs on data lake analytics. These data lake analytics jobs are going to read data from data lake storage and writing data into the data lake storage. Okay, so data lake analytics will read data from data lake storage gen 1. It will do some kind of a transformation, then it will write data into the data lake storage gen 1. But you need to understand USQL code is a case sensitive language. Instead of using small letter, if you use capital letter, you will get a error. Next thing, one point I have explained with very carefully, you need to understand. That's what I told when I was explaining that point. What is that point is, when you are attaching your storage to your Azure HD Insight, both should be in a different region or both should be in the same region. Tell me, friends.
Same region.
Both should be in the same region. In the same way, here also data lake analytics and data lake storage, both the computable storage should be in a same region. Computable storage in a same region you should have. Okay. Let's talk about data lake storage URL path. C adl storage name dot azure data lake store dot net. So if you have any subfolder, and you need to give your file names. These are your like for reading the data. Let's imagine. Okay, so this is the, see here, this is the syntax, isn't it? See, storage name. Here you have some input container file name .csv. Here you see actually storage name is my cloud pandit is my storage name. Input, yes, my input inside cloud pandit I have an input folder. Inside input folder I have a cust.csv. Now you need to understand container is cloud pandit. Inside that I am going to create an input container, input folder. Inside input folder I will have a cust.csv, meaning cust.csv is available in a third level. First cloud pandit, inside cloud pandit I have input, inside input I have a cust.csv, right? So this is how we need to form. But for this URL you no need to worry. If you click on this cust.csv, right click and go to properties, you will get this URL. You can directly take it. You no need to form like a blob storage. Okay, next to USQL keywords, extract. Extract is basically to extract data from the source. So from the data lake storage gen 1 source folder, if you want to read the data, you need to say extract. Okay, so you are saying okay, extract, but to mention source location you need to use a from this location fetch the data, you need to say. Okay, to extract from particular location you need to use some predefined classes. Those are called a extractors. Those are called a extractors. You see, using which class? Using extractors.csv. If you are going to extract a CSV files, if you want to extract a parquet data, extractors.parquet, extractors.avro, extractor.was, something like that you need to mention. Okay, now I want to write the output. To store output variable, to store your output data, you are going to use something called keyword called output. Okay, now to which address, to where you want to write this particular output data. For that you need to use a to. You know, from and to address, you know, right? So from means from where you are coming, to means where you want to go, something like that. So from which place you are reading data, where you need to write this data. So extract, so from which source you need to extract. Output, where to write output. Next, by using for extracting or for writing, you need to use it using extractor.csv, extractor.park. If you want to read a CSV, extractors.csv. If you want to read a park, extractors.park. In the same way, if you want to write it, outputters.csv, outputters.park. Okay. If you want to write it as a CS, if you want to write it to your output, you need outputters.csv, outputters.park. If you want to write it as a park unit, is outputters.park. If you want to write it as CSV unit, is outputters.csv. Is this clear to all of you? Any questions in this slide? Because this slide is important. Okay. This slide is important. So you got some idea. I know it's not very clear, but you got some idea what each keyword is doing.
Small
Okay, let's talk about some code snippets to get more idea. Code snippet one. See, let's talk about C equal to extract. Okay, what you need to extract? Customer ID is a integer type, I want to extract. Customer name is string, I want to extract. Customer contact long, I want to extract. Customer location string, I want to extract. These four columns I want to extract. Okay, extract. This is column name, this is the data. This is the column name, this is the data. This is the column name, this is the data. I want to extract. Extract is a capital letters or small letter, capital. Next, from is a capital. It's a case sensitive. You need to take care. From which location? This is the file location. Next, using extractor is capital. Extractors dot csv. C is capital. Skip first n rows. So can somebody tell me why you need to use skip first n rows? Because I'm just skipping the headers. If you're not skipping the headers, if you include the headers, what will happen? You have CID 1, 2, 3, right? So if you consider the header also into your data, what is the data type of that data? So 1, 2, 3, what is the data type? 1, 2, 3, what is the default data type? Friends, int. Ramakrishna Sai, what is the data type? String. CID 1, 2, 3, what is the data type? String. So if any string is included in your integer, it will become a ultimately string. Okay, so this is how I'm just skipping first row, because if I include my headers with the data. Okay, example, let me just go here. Okay, let's come here. Let's say here CID, CNAME, P contact, P location. Okay, one Rama. My phone number I will give here. Bangalore. Two Krishna. I give my phone number here also. No. Three Sai. Same number I will give. Hyderabad. Four. Let's do something. Okay, let's say Chennai. Pune. Okay, like this I have. So if I consider 1, 2, 3, 4, what is the data type? Integer. If you add CID also, then it will become a string, because CID 1, 2, 3, 4 means this is a string. 1, 2, 3, 4 are a integer. So that's why I need to skip this particular first row. Okay, that's why I'm saying skip first and rows equal to 1. So then I'm saying my first column name is CID. I'm just giving this is first column name is CID and this CID name is int. So you cannot you cannot write in your own syntax. This is the syntax for writing the USQL code. When you are reading the data, you need to mention all the column names. Then you need to say skip first and rows equal to 1. Okay, that's one. Next, I want, so now all this data you have assigned to where? At the rate source data. So you have written all this data into all this input data is stored in this variable. Variables declared in USQL is @source data. So source data means that is the name. This name can be anything, but at the rate you need to put at the rate equal to 10, at the rate name equal to Rama, something like that. Okay, this is my variable. So to in that object, see, extract I have used to extract these columns from this location using extractors.csv class. Now source data is my output because I don't want to do any transformation as it is I want to write. So output is @source data. So this output where I want to write to this particular address I want to write this data using outputters.csv because I want to write as it is as a outputters.csv. When I'm writing CSV, I need to say output at or equal to true, meaning please include headers and write the data. Please include headers and write the data. That's what I'm saying. Okay, now let's move on. So same, I'm reading the data. This time I'll just apply some transformation. Can you see source data act as a table? So select CID comma CNAME from source data. So instead of taking all the columns, I'm going to select only these two columns, and these two columns data, I will say output is @output data, not a source data. From source data, I selected these two columns. I can call it as output data. This output data I'm writing into my target. This is one of the transformation. Okay, let's talk about next two transformation. See, you read the data. Now select star from source data. I'm selecting all the columns, but I'm filtering out where CID equal to 1, where CID equal to 1, and this output data, I'm saying output is this particular variable, and write it to this location using output.csv. This is same reading and writing. In between, I am applying some transformation. Next, so read the data. This time I'm applying case statement. You know case statement. Case when CID percentile by 2 equal to 0, meaning if the customer ID is even number, if the customer ID is even number, then he is not a developer. Okay, see, CID. So I want to identify is this person is developer or not. So for that case, when CID percentile 2 equal to 0, then no, meaning if the customer ID is even number, he is not a developer. Else, otherwise, yes, he is a developer. Okay, yes, case statement is ended. This entire column I'm giving the new name as is developer, meaning alias name. So for this entire case statement, I'm giving the column name as is developer. Okay. So my output data is @output data, right? So output is @output data. Write it to this location using this particular outputters.csv. Okay. Now, so before we talk about this difference, so can you tell me any questions in this code? Any doubts you would like to ask? Please feel free to ask, friends.
Malay, what is snippet?
What is
Snippet? What is the meaning of snippet?
this one snippet?
Yeah.
This is just a code snippet, means one part of the code. Okay.
Okay, my God.
Fine. Now let's talk about the difference between Azure HD Insight, Azure Databricks, Data Lake Analytics. So you know all these things. You have cluster here, different types of cluster. You have Spark cluster, but it's a SaaS service. You don't need to create any cluster. Just to create a Data Lake Analytics service. That's all. You don't need to create clusters. No cluster termination option is available. Cluster termination option is available because you have a clusters here. No clusters required. SaaS means you just give the job, we will do everything for you. You give the task, we will take care how many people required, how much time it will take, everything we will take care. Can connect to only storages. It can connect to Blob, Gen 1, Gen 2. It can connect to Databricks, can connect to Gen 1, Gen 2, Blob, databases all. But Data Lake Analytics can connect to only Data Lake Storage Gen. Azure residence, compute and storage must be in the same region. Here we no need to be. Here also compute and storage must be in the same region. Next, no default storage is available here. Default storage is available in Databricks. No default storage is available in Data Lake Analytics. Okay, let's move on. The required resources are, I need a data lake storage Gen 1, data lake analytics, and Azure Data Factory. Let's go and create these three quickly. Come here. Okay. So what we need to do now, basically, I forgot to mention one more point in our slides. Basically, we need a, so do you know about the app registration? Have you heard about app registration?
Yes.
Okay, so we discussed about app registration, right? In required resources, so we need to have a app registration as well. Why you need app registration? Can you tell me? To authenticate, to connect to the data lake storage Gen 1 or Gen 2 from Data Factory, you can just use the service principle. You can use this service principle. Okay, we will see that as well. Let's quickly move on. First thing that we need to do is come here. Let's see data lake storage Gen 1. Okay, just click on data lake storage Gen 1. Let's click add to create data lake storage Gen 1. So you know resource group, I'll just say BI master program. In same group we can add. In East to West 2, I'm just creating this in a East to West 2. Okay, yes, let me create in East to West 2. Name of the service I can say Cloud Pandit ADLS Gen 1. ADLS Gen 1. Okay, Cloud Pandit ADLS Gen 1. Click review plus create. You don't need to do anything. Create it. Now come here. Portal.azure.com. Let's move on to the data lake analytics. Okay, search here data lake analytics. Click on data lake analytics. Click add to create data lake analytics. Resource group is this, and data lake analytics name you can say Cloud Pandit ADLA. Azure Data Lake Analytics ADLA. Okay. So now we need to attach the storage. So how you will identify your storage from existing subscription? I can identify my storage. Which storage we have created? Cloud Pandit ADLS Gen 1 we have created. Okay, we need to attach that. Then click review plus create. Create it. That's all. Now, so this is the data. This is the data. I'll just save it. Save as. USQL data. I'll say USQL data. Save it. I just saved it as a text file. USQL data.csv. Okay, I just saved as a CSV. This file I will upload into my data lake storage. And go to storage. Okay, first let's talk about these two because other things are simple. Go inside Data Explorer. See, this is a little bit we discussed a little bit, very few labs on data lake storage Gen 1. That's why let me show you. This is data lake storage Gen 1. Once you create, you can just click on Data Explorer here, or you also have a other option Data Explorer here. You just click anywhere, you will come here. Okay, once you come here, you see some catalog system folders are showing because we have attached the storage to data lake analytics. It is showing, otherwise it won't show. But I want to create my own folder, that is Cloud Pandit data. Click OK. Inside this Cloud Pandit data folder, go inside. Let's create a subfolder. If you want a subfolder, you can create a subfolder. Okay, create it. Inside this, go inside this. Let's upload data. Let's click upload. Click this. Desktop Cloud Pandit data set, comma separated files. You can say what USQL, right? USQL data.cs. Okay, just add selected. Okay, so where is that file? Shit. Yes, it came, right? So very simple to get the like input location. Just go to properties. So take this path. This is your source path. Okay, come here. Come here. I'll just tell you. So from this location, you need to read the data. From this location, you need to read the data. Keep it. Next, I also want to get some my to address where I need to load the data, right? So for that, go back. So let's say in this I want to create, so this is input, I want to create an output folder. Inside output, I want to load the data. But how you will get this path? Very simple. Take same thing, you just edit that. You understood? Take this and we can edit this. So you know storage name is same, cloud Pandit data is same. Instead of input, it should be output, and instead of USQL data, I'll say my output data, my job1.cs, my job1.cs. Okay, this is to address, this is a from address. Okay. So what kind of file you have? So you can say using extractors.csv. Okay, you can say skip past n rows colon 1. Okay, one row I want to skip. Okay, this you understood, right? By using extractors, you are going to extract the data. But what data you are going to extract? I want to extract, come here, just to take all these columns, I want to extract. When you are mentioning these column names, so as I'm mentioning the first row here, that's why I'm skipping the first row. Okay, if you're not mentioning here, you no need to skip. Okay, but you need to mention in US. Okay, this is the what data type also you need to mention. It's integer, first name is a string, customer contact is basically long, customer location again is string. Okay, clear? This clear? Please check and let me know, friends. Any doubts? Is this clear to all of you?
Yes, Mala. Clear.
If everybody is clear, so now what we need to do? We just have to assign this output to the some folder, that some variable source data. Okay, this source data will become my output. Okay, you need to say my output is this variable. Whatever data I have in this object, that data is my output. Okay, I want to write it to this, but how you will write it? Using outputters dot csv. Okay, you can say output headers equal to. This is what you need to do. Clear? Is this clear, friends? Okay, so but what I mentioned here, I mentioned some things. This particular language is a case sensitive and you need to take care of everything. Okay, so once you finish of reading, you need to use a semicolon. Once you finish of writing the data, you need to say semicolon. Okay, next extract. See, this is the mistake I have done already. You did not notice. Extract must be a capital. From must be capital, using must be capital, output must be capital, to capital, using capital, outputters, who should be a capital. Okay, rest of the things anyhow you know, right? Clear, friends? Okay, everything is clear. Skip first row, first n rows equal to 1, output headers equal to true, header equal to true, not headers. Okay, let's take this code. Okay, let's go to come here. Okay, see, this is storage, this is my data lake analytics. Go to data lake analytics. Now you see something on new job. Let's click on job. So I have not created any cluster. Automatically, it's a SaaS service, serverless. Okay, automatically servers will be deployed in backend for us. We just have to execute this. Okay, let's try to submit the job. But before you submit, you have options. Job name, you can say Cloud Pandit job 1. So how many arithmetic units you need? See, these are the AUs. So as you increase the AUs, you'll get the better performance, but cost also will increase. You see 0.23 per minute. So if you keep increasing, $0.43 per minute. If you decrease this, $0.03 per minute. Okay, let's click submit the job. We'll see will it succeed or not. If it is succeeded, in this output folder we should be able to see the output file. Okay, let's see. So it is preparing the job. Once it is prepared the job, see how much time it will take to prepare. Refresh in 14 seconds, within 13, 12, 11. So within this particular time it will try to prepare the job. Okay, so any compilation errors, any syntax errors, if we have, it will throw error. Otherwise, it will recompute. Okay, so it will go to queued. See, queue it will not take anything any time because there is no other jobs are running, right? So our compute nodes are free, so that's why quickly it will take the job and it is running. So if the preparing is finished successfully, means there is no syntax errors available. There is no syntax errors. Okay, so job will finish in 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. It will finish now. If it is not finished, it will recalculate the time, how much more time it may take. But within 23 seconds, it should finish. If it is not finished again within this time, again it will recompute how much more time it will take. Status is running. Again it is taking 30 more seconds. Okay, it's keep giving you the sometimes your job, if your job is very small, so this is basically small, it should finish in 30 seconds. Sometimes it will finish. If it is not finishing, you want to finish job quickly, then what you can do, you can just increase the AUs. As I'm using only single AU, it is taking quite long time. Okay, see, job is finished successfully. So what script you have submitted, you can see here. A data. So which data you are trying to read input? What is your output data? My job one.csv. Your input data, output data, both you can see here itself. AU analysis. Suppose how much cost it each run. If you want analysis, you can do that. So here, if you get any performance issues or any errors, everything we can able to check these things here. Let's go to job graph. Job graph should be available. Maybe job graph will generate basically. So this is not happening. I am not sure. Maybe next jobs it may run. Let's try to let me just try to take more AUs because it is taking more time for our jobs to execute. Right? Let's take up to 3 to 4 AUs. We'll see. We'll try to submit our jobs. Okay. But let's go to here. Refresh this. Here we should be able to see my job one.csv. Let's click on this. See, I got this data. 4 records I have in my source, all 4 records I got. Now let's go here. Click on reuse same script. I want to reuse the same script. Click on this. This time I will call it as a Cloud Pandit job 2. In this job 2, I want to write my output to the my job 2.csv file. Same thing, but instead of writing as the same data, pass the same data. I'll just say at the rate output data. What I will do, I'll just select. The select is a capital. Okay, C name. From is a capital. Okay, next you need to give this particular object. Object will act as a table. Okay, must be each statement you must end with a semicolon. Okay, now this is my output, isn't it? This is my output. This is my output. I'll say output is this. This output data, I want to write it into my job to.csv. How many columns will have? Only 2 columns. Let's submit the job. We should, I forgot to increase the AUs. That's okay. Let's try to increase the AUs next time. Which script you submitted? This script. Okay, if you want to check your script, you can check. Job is preparing. It will finish in the next 14 seconds, 13 seconds. Yes, it is failed. Why it is
Let
failed?
two times
So
give.
there is a some
Source,
error. Where
fifth
is
line you
two?
give two times source.
There is 2 times, but we can just check the errors. So where this error message? See, error is output. See, triple star wherever it is showing, there is a some error before output. Before output, what is the error? You see, after semicolon, I pasted twice. Okay, what you do? Reuse script. So remove one time. Okay, let's resubmit. Before you resubmit, let's increase the age to some 4 or 5 before submitting. Yeah. So there is no syntax error. Preparing is completed. Now job is cured. So it's a serverless. We cannot take care of anything. So whatever happens, we just have to see. Only thing that we can do is if we want better performance, we need to increase the AUs. As we requested for 4 AUs, as 4 AUs are not available or something, that's why job is queued. Now, so now the job is running. So job may finish in this time. If it is not able to finish in this time, it will recompute. See, the estimated cost is 0.15 USD, US dollars. Okay. Yes, job is finished. Okay. Job is finished. Now go back. Let's go back into same folder. I have written another file. My job 2.csv. Let's click on this. We should see only 2 columns. Yes. I got only 2 columns. Okay. Now let's go to reuse script. I'll consider it as in my job 3. In this job 3, I'll just say star. I want to get all the columns, but this time I'll say where clause. Where, so where must be a capital. Where CID equal to 1. Okay, CID equal to 1 you need to do. When you say CID equal to 1, how many records I will get? How many?
Only one record.
Yes, only one record you will get. Let's try to submit the job with same things. Select start. So where CSS is one. Okay, so everything is fine. Let's click submit. Shit. CID is not assignable. Oh shit, I think that's what I was thinking. You need to say double equal. Okay, let's submit. In SQL, it will allow single equal. In Spark, it will like it needs double equals, right? So in USQL also, it requires a double equal. So you can see the script here. So previously, what I have done, I just kind of say CID equal to 1 I have done. It's kind of a assignment. Okay, you need to, whenever you are comparing, right? So you need to use a double equal to. Okay. Same thing I need to correct in our documentation as well. So here I mentioned something wrong, right? So CID equal to 1, it's not CID equal to 1, it should be CID double equal to 1. Okay. Your job is running. Shit. But we have not changed the file name. We have not changed the file name. What will happen? We'll see. Yes, job is succeeded. So now what happened? Same file, it will overwrite the data. In same file, it has overwritten the data. It got only one record. You see, only one record it got. Okay. Now let's go back. Let's click reuse script. This I can say job 4. I'll say my job 4.csv. Okay. Same thing, but this time I want to calculate a new data. Maybe you can say star is basically talks about select all the columns plus I want to calculate new column. How you will calculate in SQL? Case statement we will use to derive the new column. We know derive column, right? So derive column, if you want to do, we need to use a case statement in SQL. So in the same way here, we need a case when CID percentile by 2 equal to 0, then I need to say yes is the developer. Okay. Else I need to say no, he is not a developer. I want to end this particular case statement and I want to rename this as must be a capital, as is a developer. Okay, and I don't want to put any condition. I don't want to put any condition for anything. Remove it, but semicolon must be there. Same thing, but this time I'm writing my output to my job. You understood, friends? Case when CID percentile by 2 equal to 0, then I need to say yes, else no, and as is developer spelling mistake. Okay, this is what I wanted to do. Okay, let's submit the job. We'll see new column will add or not. Okay, so syntax we don't have any issue. Here, so this is what I was talking about, right? So this graph will generate for every run, but due to some network issues, so this graph was not generated. So this is the source data you read. Read is 145 bytes and you have written 123 bytes. Okay, so like 4 rows you read, here 4 rows you have written. Read is basically 123 bytes and written is 203 bytes because we have calculated the new data. That's why more data you are writing. Okay, here you are just read the 145 bytes, but you are skipping the top record. That's why the write data is like decreased. Okay, so you have written the data to myjob4.csv. Let's refresh and see. You will be able to see the one extra column in this particular file. C is developer. No, no, but wherever we have a even number, yes, yes. Yes, this is based on condition. See here, the condition which I have given is wherever we have an even number customer ID is, those people can come under developers. Other people will not come under developer. Okay, something like that. Okay, fine. Now I want to execute same code. Same code. This time my output, my script name, I will call it as a take this code. I will talk about this. Come here. Put this here. Okay, this is the code. Okay, this code here, my output file, I will say ADF output. That's all I will say, ADF output. And I want to save this particular data file as, so you can simply decrease like this for readability. Okay, and what I want to do, this particular data I will save as a SQL. Okay, my USQL code dot SQL. Okay, understood. In same set comma files, I'm just storing this mysql code.sql, save it. So this is basically, see, when I just saved it as SQL, all the keywords highlighted, all keywords you see, all these are keywords highlighted. Now come here. In storage, somewhere I need to store this code as well, because code I need to give it to the my ADF, so that ADF will identify this is the code that I need to execute. It will execute. Okay, I'll say one one folder, app code, application code. So in this application code folder, I'll just upload my actual data. Upload your actual data. Go to desktop. Oh shit, I was in right place. Set comma. You need to say here my USL code.sql. Just upload and store your code. So now this code you need to like read it into Data Factory. From Data Factory, you need to submit on this particular data lake and text. Okay. So this is done. Till here, clear. Everybody's clear till here. Ratnaraj, Bharat, Shiva, Sudhir Reddy. Everybody's clear. Fine. Quickly, let me create ADF.
Malaya, based upon that graph, can we do any optimization?
Yes, you can do all the optimization, everything. So you just have to understand the code. So based on that, you can able to do all the optimization. Okay. Now let's go to Data Factory. Let's create the Data Factory. Click Add. Let's say this is this one, and I want to create a new Data Factory. I also Cloud Pandit ADF 128. Git configuration. I'll just configure it later. Come to previous. So ADF name is available. Just click review plus create. Create it. Okay. Now come here. Let's open our portal once again to create the app registration. Let's search for app registration. Click on app registrations. New registration. You ADLA user. ADLA user. So register. So he is who is who? He is ADLA user. Okay. For this ADLA user, you need two things. Copy this application ID, save it here. Next, go to certificates and secrets. Generate the secret. Just give something. My password. When it should expire in 1 year, click add. This is the value. Copy this value. Okay, that's all. This is the password. This is the username. Username, password I have. Okay, this is the user. This user should have a proper permissions to connect to the data lake analytics and data lake storage. For that, come to data lake storage, data lake analytics. Click on this data lake analytics. Now go to access control IAM. Let's click add role assignment. So when you are adding the role assignment, you will see something called data lake analytics developer. Okay, just give the data lake analytics developer. Just add this ADLA user. He is basically accessing the data lake analytics, but he should be able to access the data lake storage as well from the data lake analytics, because you should be able to connect to the data lake storage Gen 1 from data lake analytics. For that, go to add user widget. Click select user. Who is user? This is the user. Select user. Click select. What kind of role you want to grant? Data lake analytics developer. Click next. So if I want to give full access, read and write access to my Cloud Pandit data lake storage Gen, so Gen 1, say Cloud Pandit Gen 1, I want to give access to all the root folder and subfolder. This folder and all children folder, this folder and all children folder. Click next. So you need to run this particular process to grant the full permissions to all these things. See, I said all children folders. See, it's all children folders. So in this, we have a multiple children folders in catalog and the system. That's why it is like granting the permissions to all the children folders. Children folders means what? Subfolders. Okay. Yes, this is done. This is basically completed. Now come to Data Factory. Go to Resource. Click Author and Monitor. Click on Manage tab. Okay, go to Linked Service. Click New. So go to Compute. In Compute, we discussed about Databricks. We discussed about what else, Azure HD inside. So let's click on Azure Data Lake Analytics for now. Click Continue. So this is what LS for ADLS. Linked Service for Azure Data Lake Analytics. Okay, auto result integration runtime subscription is this, account name is ADLA. So service principal ID, that is nothing but this user ID. What is password? These things, if you want to keep it in a keyword, you can keep it, that we discussed in detail. Okay, test the connection successful, you can create it. Okay, now I also need to connect to the data lake storage gen 2, gen 1, sorry. So gen 2 is coming. Data lake storage gen 1, click continue. This is basically LS linked service for ADLS gen 1 connection. Okay, by using this subscription, by using this data lake storage gen 1. So it's not managed identity. By using service principal, we are going to connect. Let me enter the service principal ID key here, and let me enter the password username service principal ID here. Test connection. Connection successful, you can create it. So I connected to the data lake storage gen 1 and data lake analytics. Now go to author tab. Let's create a pipeline. Okay, this PL is basically for PL for USQL job. Okay. Now in this data lake analytics, go to data lake analytics. Okay. So go to data lake analytics. We have a USQL activity, bring USQL activity. In this, so this is the activity name ADLS account. We just connected to the data lake analytics. Then script. What is the script? So script is available in data lake storage gen 1. Just use this connection. Browse to that particular data lake storage gen 1 storage account. In Cloud Pandit data folder, I have a app code. In this app code folder, I have my actual code. So just select this code, click OK. So can you tell me what this code will do? What this code will do? This code will read the data. It will add extra column. Then it will write data into ADF output.csv file. In this ADF output.csv file, it will create and it will write the data. Okay. Before that, come here. Go to output folder and check whether we have that such type of file or not. So you don't have ADF output.csv file. Okay. But when I just run this particular pipeline, you will be able to see that. Job is queued. Okay. Job is in progress. So as you have seen, job should prepare, then it may or may not go for the queuing the job, then it will go for what? Next one is running the job and it finish it. So there are 4 steps involved. So 4 into, at least it will take some 30 seconds, 4 into 3. So 2 minutes it will take minimum. Let's see. So within 1.5 minute to 2 minutes, it may complete. So 1 minute is finished. See, just job is finished now. Okay, now come to output folder. Let's refresh this. We should be able to see ADF output.csv. In this, you can see the extra fourth column. This kind of transformation. Okay, this is the, if you want to execute your USQL script, you can just schedule the USQL jobs, everything from the Azure Data Factory by using USQL activity. Okay, clear, friends? Okay, so in next session we will talk about machine learning. So that session we will have a, I think we will have on Saturday. Okay, we will talk about machine learning. Okay, thank you, thank you.
Malaya, still how many classes there? Hello?